Hi, this is Darren QB Creedell Jones from the music group The Shy Lights, author of Inside the Shy Lights Music, founder of Entertainers Against Exploitation and Corruption. I want to start off with this. This is going to go to the Jacksons and Marshall Thompson from The Shy Lights. Marshall, you've been talking a lot of stuff off from in front of that camera. That goes for your father, you, your son, and your no good ass treacherous daughters of yours. Now, same thing with you, Jackson 5. You talk a lot of mess when there's no cameras around. But I want to talk about how you've been talking about a phony schizophrenic situation involving my father and claiming that I'm a part of this quote unquote schizophrenic scam nonsense that you've made up in order to hide trust fund and inheritance. And I'm talking to you. I'm talking to every single one of you. Marshall Thompson. I'm talking to Jermaine Jackson, Marlon Jackson, Randy Jackson. Yes, and this applied to the rest in peace Tito Jackson and Joe Jackson. In fact, it applies to your whole Jackson family. You try to pretend like somebody's schizophrenic in order to derail the truth about how you've been involved with satanic ritual child abuse, satanic ritual child molestation, and murder sacrifice of children, so that you can get money in the Hollywood music industry, so that it would support and create notoriety and fame and fortune from the sacrifice of children and the molestation of sexual child rape rituals that you've done to not just my sister and me, but you've done this to many, many, many children, and you've murdered many, 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 many babies. How could you even think about continuing this lie that you've committed? You haven't done anything. You're going to ignore me. No, you're not ignoring me. You're ignoring your actions for what you've done. You know you're guilty of it. The only time you ignore something is if you're guilty of what it is you've been accused of. Now let's talk about Marshall Thompson. Marshall, you pretended like my father was schizophrenic in order to take over child trust accounts and inheritance of $3.5 million. Then you paid off a psychiatrist at Malcolm Bliss in St. Louis, Missouri in 1983 to pretend like my father was schizophrenic and to overprescribe him medications to keep him intoxicatedly incapacitated so that you can get access as trustee over the $3.5 million of money that my father put up for me and my sisters and brothers. Let's talk about that. Then you went on to pay my aunt to forge documentation of trusteeship by erasing my father and mother's name from their own trusteeship of their own children, including myself, just so you could take over trustee over all the $3.5 million. Then you hid the money, you forced us to stay in poverty, and you continued to steal the royalties that my father earned from his music from the Shy Lights, forcing him to die homeless and destitute because of you and your greed and heroin addiction and corruption of you, Marshall Thompson, you. Everybody knows you've done this, but if you want to keep talking about schizophrenia off in front of the camera, then let's talk about schizophrenia in front of the camera, but make sure you talk about it with a lie detector test, because I know you're too cowardly to put one on, because you know you're going to be found out as a thieving, lying coward. That's what you are, a thieving, lying coward, and ex-crooked cop. So I challenge you, the con artist cop who was arrested in 2000 by the FBI named Marshall Thompson for selling how many badges? Over 2,500 badges to gangsters so that they can carry guns, and you were sentenced to over a year in prison, was it? You're so honest, the FBI arrested you for selling police badges as a crooked police. So let me let you know, I challenge you to take a lie detector test about schizophrenia that you concocted on my father with his crooked sisters and brothers who are all in on that in order to take over the trusteeship of my trust fund that you're hiding right now in Bank of America and Chase Bank. So if you can say schizophrenia mess and lies and rumors about my father and all from in front of that camera, say that in front of that camera with a lie detector test, because you know you cannot pass a lie detector test because you're nothing but liars and thieves. And I challenge your lying, thieving, crooked butt to take that lie detector test, including your whole family, about the trust fund theft that you've been involved with and the fake schizophrenia nonsense that you've created in order to cover this up. So I want you to take a lie detector test with the Jacksons to prove that me and my book, Inside the Shy Lights Music, is lying about you. Take a lie detector test. We're waiting. The fans of the Shy Lights are waiting for you to take a lie detector test. The fans of the Jackson 5 are waiting for the Jackson 5, the remaining Jackson 5 members, to take a lie detector test, unless you're too cowardly and guilty and nervous about knowing that you can't pass one and that you're going to fail it even if you try to attempt it. Is that why you haven't addressed anything about my accusations about you and my book? My book came out in 2003. It's 2025. It's been out over 2 years. Not one peep from the Jacksons, even though I'm claiming that you child molested me and my sister in a satanic ritual as the son of the Shy Lights. Not one peep from you, because you're guilty as hell. And what's done in the dark will be brought out in the light, as we see with P. Diddy or Kelly, and now your asses. Now, since you pretend like you haven't done anything, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Jackson 5? You do not know what I'm talking about, do you, Marshall Thompson? Trinell, Tamiko, all of you, you don't know anything. I'm making it all in my mind. There never was a trust fund, was it? So then why don't you make everybody believe that it wasn't by taking a lie detector test, since you want to convince the world that I'm schizo or that my dad was schizo and there never was any of this? Why don't you just take a lie detector test and come out in broad daylight? Stop hiding what you've done. Stop whispering when the camera's not around about schizophrenia in order to cover up your actions of what you're guilty of doing. Why don't you just take a lie detector test to prove how innocent and how crazy I am? Take that lie detector test, because I'm letting you know that the Shy Lights fans are waiting for that lie detector test. Marshall Thompson, they are waiting for you to take that. And Jackson 5, you're not getting away with anything because we're waiting on you to take it too. So if you're not guilty and you haven't done it, and I made it all up in my little mind, what are you waiting on? Are you ready to take the lie detector test? What are you waiting on? In fact, I'm going to make it easy. I'll take a lie detector test, and then you can take one right after I take one. How about that? How about I volunteer to take it first, and then after I pass it in front of your face, now it's your turn to take the lie detector test, and we know the answer and the result of what that's going to be. Michael Jackson's, Joe Jackson's allegations of child rape. I think we know what the results of the child satanic ritual of my sister and me is going to result in, don't we, Jacksons? Don't we, Jermaine Jackson? Jermaine, don't we? Randy, don't we? Marlon Jackson, don't we? Jackie, don't we? Marlon, don't we? Janet Jackson, don't we? Latoya Jackson, don't we? Rebe Jackson, don't we? We know what those results are, don't we? Catherine Jackson, we know what those results are, don't we? Yeah, we know. That's why you're so quiet, because we know exactly what those results are going to be. That's what the quietness is about, isn't it? The Jackson 5, Janet Jackson, isn't it? Marshall Thompson from the Shy Lights, isn't it? The Shy Light family. What's the quietness about? You talk so much about me off of the camera. Take a lie detector test and prove it. This is the son of Cordell Jones from the music group The Shy-Lights, author of Inside the Shy-Lights Music. My challenges to Marshall Thompson from the Shy-Lights. We're ready, and the fans are ready and willing to see those results from that lie detector test, and we're waiting for you to take it. Same thing for the Jackson 5. Jackson 5, we're ready, we're willing, and we're waiting on those lie detector test results. Since you're so innocent, everybody accuses Michael Jackson. He did nothing. Let's find out. Take a lie detector test. See, the first accusation of child rape wasn't verified enough, because if I was the lawyer, I would have made all of you take lie detector tests, and it would have been, all of you would have went to prison, not just Michael Jackson. Now we're waiting on the lie detector test results, and we're waiting for you to take them. This is a challenge from the Inside the Shy-Lights Music, author Darren Cuby, the son of Cordell Jones from the Shy-Lights. The victims of the Jackson 5 child sexual rape and satanic rape, and the victims of Marshall Thompson's trust fund theft and inheritance theft of my trust fund and my inheritance from my father, Cordell Jones from the Shy-Lights. This is the author of Inside the Shy-Lights Music, the son of Cordell Jones from the Shy-Lights, Darren Cuby. Thank you, and have a good day. Leave your questions, your comments, your concerns, your input, your responses on this video. Thank you, and have a nice day.